officers or field officers training base. So after being a soldier for 3 years, officers can or soldiers that choose to become an officer, they can apply, or they will be asked, do you want to become an officer? And they will have to do some tests, and then if they apply, they succeed, then they will come to here. They will spend here half a year, and then here they will be trained either to be an officer in the tanks or anything that have to do with field. So infantry is that on the top, and then all the others, and then they will be trained here, and then they will go back to their units to be officers over there. And some of them choose to have a career. Some of them will do it only for a year, maybe a year and a half, and then resign. So some of them doing it as a mission. Many of them used to be in different types of scouts when they were youth. So they are kind of like, yeah, I need to be an officer, I need to be a leader. If you look at the Israeli leadership, I mean the government, almost all of them were officers in the army, and usually in top units. So like Benjamin Netanyahu was in like the similar to the Green Beret, yeah. The equivalent of the Israeli equivalent to the Green Beret. His brother died in Entebbe in 1976. Bennett was also in the top unit. Many of the ministers were in top units. So yeah. If you have a lot of land, you can make electricity and then sell it to bring it back to the grid, and after some time you start to make money. Yes, sir.
Is there a military university? Is there kind of like
a academy, you mean?
Yeah, academy.
Yeah. So there is a kind of an academy, but that's for higher ranks. So in the beginning they will be here for half a year, and then people that are getting to higher ranks and make it as a career, they can go to academy, and they go to the academy to universities. So part of they try to take them for long term. So like to make a real career until the age of 45. So it will include BA and even masters and whatever they want to be specialized, whatever they want to study. But on return, they will have to serve and give back to the country. So the army pay for they can do the service, their studies before, and then be used as a lawyer or doctor during their service, and then they will serve 6 years instead of 3. Or during the career in the army, they will go for 3 years study at the university. Some of them, if they're really super sharp pencils, they will travel to Howard or Yale, or they will study there. Like Benjamin Netanyahu, that's what he did. He went to MIT. How is the Mossad what?
How do they figure in all the military activity? Where do they get the Mossad from? How does that
I don't hear all the questions. So in a moment we will get off, and I will hear it, and then I will answer it later. Okay, so
oh, in Washington D.C. there's a multi-story McDonald's.
we have a very short drive. It's just up the hill. Then we'll get off the bus. We will take with us just the whispers and sunglasses and your camera. That's all what you need. From 2 years ago plus, I remember that there were toilets over there. Because from here we will have again an hour and a half drive through real desert. I mean, what you saw so far was not real desert. Now you're going to see. I mean, when I say real desert, I mean the scenery of Arizona, the scenery of how you call it? Nevada, and there's another place, Bryce Canyon. Have you saw pictures from Bryce Canyon? So kind of like that. So if you have already a few shekels or something, then I mean, it might be that they will take a few shekels for the restrooms. I hope not, but I'm just warning you ahead. Now this is the town called Mitzveh Ramon, and I was just told Yair that we saw that there was a lady that was giving tickets for parking. And I'm thinking, like, are you stupid? In a town like that, where Sunday till Thursday it's dead. The only reason you see so many soldiers is because Sunday is the day when they go back to their bases. Just that you know, Sunday is a normal day in Israel. It's not like in America or in Europe where it's a day off. In Israel, that's the first day of the week. That's why it's called in Hebrew Yom. No, come on. Yom is a day. Yom. No one remember? No, Yom Kippur is the day of atonement.
That's the day of atonement. Yeah.
Yom Rishon. Can you say Rishon?
Rishon.
That means the first. Why? Because that's how God called it. The first day. And then there is Yom Sheni is the second day. And then the third day. The fourth day. Like that. So all the days doesn't have names. Like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. These are names that came from, you can say, Nordic mythology. The day we worship the sun, the day we worship the moon, and so forth. But in Hebrew or in the Bible, it's go by the numbers, which is, that's how God created it. This is hotel, a very luxurious hotel. All the ground floor rooms have their own pool. Yeah, and some of the rooms that are on the edge of the crater, the pool is like an infinity. So it's really, you'll see it in a moment from a bit, but we will be higher. So again, whisper, sunglasses, hat. We're going to be outside for half an hour max. 1 o'clock we want to be back on the bus. First, when you will go back, you'll see that, you can see it from here. There is a small rock, 1, 2, 3, the fourth rock from the left. There is a mark on it, orange, blue and white. Anyone want to guess what it, the ones that have been here before don't say. But anyone wants to guess what is that mark?
It's been here before.
2 years? We haven't been here? Okay. So we have a trail.
Yeah, Don's pointing.
Don is pointing. So there is a trail that is, now there is a fashion in the world, long hiking trail. And so Israel is also joined to the Vibe, and there is a trail that starts in the border with Lebanon, if you remember, on the top of the map, and it goes all the way to the bottom of the map.
Wow.
It's 900 and it's 1,140 kilometers, and it's possible to walk all of it. It takes usually for people to do it if they do it like really fit, straight after the army, and they're really fit, you can do it in a month. But then it's not fun because it means that you walk every day about 15 to 18 miles. So the idea is to walk it in 2 months, and then you cover the whole scenery of the country. And that's really, really, what people do, let's say, if you're saying, I'm not going to do it in 2 months, so you can come and do just like 2 sections. You do 2 sections, and another time you come and you do another section. And then, but this mark, and it starts with orange, blue, and white, because, and the colors are like that. So it depends which direction you started. If you started in the north or in the south. So if you started in the south, it's the orange, the Red Sea, but also the desert. And then you walk through the blue, which is the Mediterranean, you will come to the blue. And then you'll end up at Mount Hermon, which is the snow, the white. And if you start over there, then the colors, you know that you need to follow the other direction. So we have many hiking trails all over the country, but this is considered to be the longest one, and it's also in the map, I mean, known in the world as those long hiking trails. Like you have the one that's crossing from Canada to the border with Mexico. for a group. So we will not enjoy if we will be there because it's very much for either two couples or one couple because you can see why. The dining room is also all a la carte, so there's no buffet that you can go and take your own food and bring the food to you. So it's a unique hotel, no children allowed, and no mobiles allowed. So yeah, if you're in the main bathroom, sorry, the main no lobby, no, the pool, main pool, you are not allowed to sit. Hey, look at what I'm doing. They said to you, hey, please stop. This is a quiet hotel. So it's nice. Yeah. And you can see, I mean, try to imagine to sit on the balcony and to wake up in the morning. And so again, to orientate you, east is over there, north is over there, south over there, and west behind us. And what you see in front of you is the largest crater in the world that is caused not by impact. Most craters in the world were caused by impact of an object from space. This one was created by erosion, and so it's quite interesting how it's called. And you need to use your imagination. Okay? And I will try to use my hands. So you remember that I told you that there was a sea that covered the whole Mediterranean? Okay, I mean everything, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Libya, everything was covered with the big sea. That sea started to disappear when mountains were pushed from under, okay, by forces. Now, listen carefully. From here, all the way to the other edges, you can see the edges over there. Those layers that's standing like that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. There was a mountain. Between us and there was a mountain. Now, because of the earthquake that caused many earthquakes that happened, we got a lot of fractures on the top of the mountain. Now, why I mentioned the sea that was here? Because in the sea, whales and fish and all kind of sea creatures are dying and sinking down, and then their skeleton become rock because it's full of calcium. We also become rock one day. Some of us are rocky. So when those layers are pressed, of dead animals are pressed and minerals, they become rock that is called either dolomite or chalk. And chalk have different, you can say,
texture,
but also density. That's the word that I was looking for. Thank you. And so sometimes it can be soft that you can, with your nail, you can make a mark on it, or it can be crumbled. And sometimes it will be rock. It will be so hard, like a dolomite, like what we see over here. So the top was these hard rock formations that were very solid and very thick. The thing is that they were crushed because of the earthquakes and the many movements that happened here. So what we got is something like that. And then rain and a lot of water here start to go through these thick layers and you can say dissolve them. And then what happened is that it started to go like that. I mean, the water washed. Now what was beneath these thick layers? Softer layers and sand. So everything was start to erode. So there is a river that's coming from there. I mean, ancient river that is called Ramon. Now, probably the name is coming from Arabic because here there was a pathway that the Romans used to use, and the Romans in Arabic is Roman. So probably the name is there. So there's no other name for this river. So River Ramon start to create a path like the Great Canyon. It starts to dig itself in the soft layers that were below where we. And you can see, if you look, you can see all those layers. It looks like a cave that someone cut. So the river, and again, we're talking about probably good few thousands of years.
Yeah.
I don't want to use millions, as you see sometimes on the signs, because I'm not. But the river washed away all those soft stones or sand basalt is lava, is a stone that used to be stone, like sometimes like water, like you see in Hawaii, but it was dug deep down. Down in the crater, there are many places where there are all kind of very impressive formation of rocks that, because of the heat that was here many years ago, you got all kind of formations of either
Stalactites.
yeah, like stalactites and all kind of other formations because of the heat. And next to it, you find ammonites. Ammonites used to be snails, sea snails that are this big, and they are all stuck in rocks because they sank down. So this is a super impressive park. It's a national park. So at the moment, no one is allowed to dig here or to do any excavation. And there are a lot of sand that are in different colors. So sometimes people like to make those bottles with different colored sand. And what is amazing is that it used to be a mountain that just eroded through the years. So it's 40 kilometers long and 9 kilometers wide, which is about almost 25 miles long and about 5 miles wide. And there are many trails of either hiking trails, mountain biking trails, and of course with the jeep, it's very nice to do those hikes. And people used to travel through this crater already, you can say 2,000-3,000 years, because the archaeologists are finding different remains. I mentioned on the bus that when they opened the road in the Arava, which is further east from here, then this town that we have here, lost a lot of income, because this windy road was the only way to go down to Eilat. And so people had here gas station and all that. So it was a pity, but today you can see that it's revived again, and many people are coming to do different things traveling here. And right over there, where the blue signs down there is a repelling site. So some people do repelling. Today I don't see them, but sometimes you come here and you see a group, everybody with the helmets, and then one by one they go down and then come again. So it's really exciting. Any questions about the and there is a trail to go all the way on the edge, from here all the way to the edge of the crater, right on the edge. So it's a very unique place, and you can feel it's not hot here. We are 900 meters above sea level, about 2,700 feet. If you Google, you'll see pictures with snow here. And you're in the desert and snow. And because of this weather, so people that have asthmatic people, this is a very good place for them because there is no humidity in the air. Because of the location of this city, it attracts a lot of. Maybe you saw some weirdos. So there were years that this city was kind of like a hippie city, and a lot of eating and smoking, all kind of things, and all kind of weird ideas. But today it's more settled, and there is another hotel inside of the same company inside the city, and it's quite a nice place. So, any questions? No, that's where you guys did more. Yeah. No. Wadi Rum is in Jordan, and that's where they filmed it. Although this is also Mars. But no, the movie that we talk about, you will talk about it tomorrow.
Mars of Arabia.
If I were hiking this,
Yeah.
you have to climb?
No. There are trails that are.
Through the vinyl bed?
But there were years that Israel dug or excavate from here a lot of minerals, phosphates mainly, but they shut those the quarry, and by law to recover the quarry. So they put some plants and everything. And they reached high level water, not reservoir, high level of groundwater. So those quarries became like lakes. So during the summer, it's quite a nice place to go and a little bit refresh. Because in the summer, it's really hot. I mean, even that we're high, it's very, very hot. So take some pictures and we'll go. Get on the road again, and it's a windy road until it will get a bit more straight. Beautiful scenery all around, but the other thing will happen, and that is that you will fall asleep. So I will leave you alone unless I see something really important. If there are questions, feel free. Just shout to me. I'm not going to fall asleep, so and because I need to watch out that Yair is not falling asleep. So if you want to rest a bit, and if there will be anything important, I will wake you up.
That's good. No, but that's good right there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, way cool. Ooh, Margaret, look at that. The wire's above the road, for sure. Yeah, this ought to be a good one coming back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now I know what the trail lights are from. Look at this one. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Here to your right, you can see some of the colored sand, and you can see the different layers that are soft. And that's how those ancient rivers could dig through the soft stones. The hard stones, which you can see on the other side of the crater, they are more resistible to the erosion.
This might be We got a chance to get the whole thing.
And along the way, you will feel the pressure in your ears changing because we are descending from 1,200 feet down, and eventually we will get to sea level, but probably you will feel the pressure.
Second.
I think you told me that before.
Yeah.
For the awakened ones, this is the riverbed of Paran. We're going to cross it in a moment, and in the winter we get sometimes events of flash floods, and then the army will come and block the road from each side, or the police, to prevent from people to drive, because there are sometimes people that think that they are Superman and they can cross and they know everything, and they try to cross the water, and then we need to call the rescue team to get their bodies out of the crashed car. So yeah, so in a moment we will cross the dry riverbed of Paran. Then try to imagine when that is full of water, brown gushing water. It's straight ahead of us. So try to imagine that the road is covered with water.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have also peaches and plums, and no, not plums, apricot, and they have goats, and all their agriculture is organic. So, and they're doing very well. The only thing that they do not well is that it's a very spiritual kibbutz. So the people there are very much into New Age, and so on that aspect, it's kind of maybe it will not, it won't be our cup of tea. But besides that, it's a nice kibbutz where they cultivate the land in a nice way, not using too many chemicals and poisons. That tower is just part of their, not worshipping, but it has something to do with a temple from India that they kind of copied. agriculture. Most of it is dates for plums for palm trees for dates, but also other things can grow there, like some citrus fruits, pomelo, onions doing well, some grapes for eating, not for wine. And on the Jordanian side also they do some agriculture, not so much as you can see over here, but the mountains are on the other side, are the mountains of Edom, the Edomites. Timna Park is a geological park that few of the kibbutzim here turn it into their own. And so there are some formations that I will point out while we drive towards the tabernacle. And in 99 or 2000, the Southern Baptists, they brought a model of the tabernacle from a Bible school in Germany, and that model used to travel in Europe, mainly in Germany, and be as a study tool. So they bought it, brought it to here. It was located next to a place that's called the Solomon Pillars, which I will point out, and then it was moved towards where we're going to, not towards, but to the place where we're going to visit. And I had the privilege to work there for 2 years as a guide and kind of to manage it. It was fun. You get to learn a lot, and you learn the most from the questions of the people, because then you need to go and dig if you don't know. And today there is a guy called Marco, and he's going to give you the tour. I remember him since he was, because I used to live in Eilat, so I know him since he was a boy, like 10 or 11, even maybe a bit younger. But so it's nice to see how he matured, and now he's working over there. He's a neat guy, and it's nice. So. And because they found here copper mines, so they thought, probably this is it. But today they know that probably these are not Solomon's copper mines. Solomon's copper mines were a little bit further north, on the Jordanian side. But there is human activity here that goes back probably between 4,000 to 5,000 years. It was the Midianites and then the Egyptians that harvest copper, because also here we have hard stones, like you see here to your left. This is a granite, and granite is what your marble many times at home is made from. And then below the granites there is something called Nubian sandstone. I will talk about it a bit more later. And I will just hop off the bus to give the voucher, and then we will continue to our site. This is the entrance to the park, so please remain on the bus, and I will be back in a moment. It's about maybe 1.5 feet, and so sometimes we used to see them crossing. If you see holes on the sides, kind of like dug the holes, if I will say, I will point your attention, then that's those lizards that they are doing it. So there are a lot of formations that are all nature made or God made, and I will point out to some of them. The dark stones that you see, this is all granite. And again, granite is usually a very, very, very solid rock, but because of the pressure that happened here when this rock was pushed up to the surface. That's why it's so crumbly. And you cannot find granite further north from here in Israel. This is the most north spot where you can find a granite or granite. No, they don't use this granite for anything because it's so broken. To the front right, you can see there is a hill that is called a spiral hill, because you will see that when we will drive beside it, it's kind of like look like a spiral. And then again, you can see those acacia trees that are typical for the desert, where they grow and open like an umbrella, upside down umbrella, and the animals like to nibble on the leaves. That's where they get moist here in the desert. Also here, the temperatures in the summer are extreme. I'm talking about 100, 105. And there are, on that side of the road to the right, there are some ancient mines, and we will pass also next to some remains of camps that the Egyptians had their slaves over there. And there is still active archaeological dig going on by the Hebrew University, and it's just verifying more and more about what they thought that was going on here. So Midianites and Egyptians used to use the soft sand that is over here, the red color that you see. This is Nubian sand, and they used to harvest from it, to dig, and then there's a way to burn it to a high temperature, and then get the slag, and then out of the slag they get the copper, and then they made from the copper solid, kind of like solid weights, and then with camels brought it down to Egypt, where they would use it for jewelry, weapons, you name it, arrowheads, whatever they needed for the copper. But unfortunately, I mean, okay, we know this is how it works, but they needed a lot of slaves for that. And it was very hard way, because they need to bring wood and then mix it with with sand, and then to burn it. And the way to burn it, they had kind of bags that were made from leather, and then it was like a huge sandals, and then they will push back and forth, I mean up and down to create a high pressure wind over the fire. So to be a slave in those years, it was not not fun. And also here you can see they developed a lot of tracks, walking or hiking tracks, and mountain biking. Soon there will be another kind of formation that reminds the Sphinx. I will point out to it, and it's not here yet, but we will see it. And then there is also a small stone that looks like that if you give it a little push, it will roll over. So here to the left, where you see that wall, so all this hill used to be the camp of the slaves. slaves camp. Caused those formations to become what they are. It's very impressive there inside. But tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, you're going to see way more impressive in Petra. But Petra is the same type of stone. It's a Nubian sandstone, and that's why the Nabateans were able to carve the temple and the city of Petra. Years, I mean, during the 70s, Israel discovered here more copper. So we had mines here. So some of the hills that you see in front of us, and you see it a little bit more to the right, and also when we'll get back on the highway, you will see more of that. These copper mines were working quite well for many years, but then in Chile. We started at a ride to Sde Boker, where we spoke about David Ben Gurion and the Zin Desert, and then from there we continue to the Ramon crater. I think every time when I'm there, I'm impressed. I mean, it's amazing that big crater. And then we continue to drive through the desert, and we had a nice ice cream, and then we arrived to here, and now we will make our way towards Eilat. So we will get out of the park back to route number 90, and that will bring us all the way to Eilat. Now, the rooms are ready, and the hotel is nice, and I will tell you about dinner is between 7 and 9. You don't have to be there at 7. And don't go there after 9. So it's up to you when you want to go and have dinner. About tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to cross over to Jordan. Before I forget, because sometimes I have short memory. The people that didn't give me the blue card, please can you put it out? Because the other ones gave it to me already, and you got it back to you. And anyway, you don't need it so much. But the ones that haven't given to me, I need it, and you will get it back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to the receptionist. They will make a copy, and then I will give it to you back tomorrow, or at dinner. So that's one thing. About tomorrow. I believe that it was discussed with you by Dawn about taking less luggage to Jordan than to take all of it.
Yes.
So make your mind tonight when you pack that tomorrow you bring to the bus 2 suitcases. One is the big one which we'll put, let's say, in one side, and then the smaller one which we will put more accessible, and then when we get to the border we pull out only the small one. take some. I mean, there's a heat wave also there. I mean, Jordan is just around the corner, so it's not that you're traveling to Europe. It's just so the weather is going to be pretty much the same. So it's going to be hot. So take. But I would take if you have a light jacket, I would take it with me because the evenings can be a little bit cooler because you're going to be in high elevation. But I wouldn't say modesty all the time, but don't forget you're in a Muslim country. But it's a very, you can say, relaxed Muslim country. But you want to respect them. So, like I would wear a t-shirt and not a, how you call it, sleeveless. So I would wear, as a woman, a t-shirt. I would try that it will not be too open over here. Yeah, cover your shoulders. If you have big crosses as a jewelry, I will keep it until you come back to Israel. In Israel, you won't have any problem with it. I mean, if it's a small cross, it's not a big problem. They know that you are tourists, but just, you know, it's better to be on the safe side. Yeah, take flip-flops, walking shoes, because you're going to visit a lot of archaeological sites, biblical sites. So you want to have shoes that will hold your feet good. So flip-flops for in the evening, but during the day, I recommend closed shoes that will hold your feet good. Hat, of course, sunglasses, sun cream or sunscreen, things that you need for every day, but any things that you think I won't need it during Jordan trip, leave in the suitcase, and then it will stay here in the bus until you come back on Thursday. And then I will give you, by the way, again, the whispers that you love so much.
But shorts okay, right?
Shorts, I believe that is okay, but not too short.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say to the knee is okay, but if it's shorter than the knee, then you know they are not used to see women's skin. So you see how their women are dressed. So yes, sir. That's a good question. I think just to be on the safe side, I will leave my Bible. If I was you and you had in your suitcase, just in your suitcase, leave your Bible here. Oh, I mean there. What do you mean with it? We're not. Okay. No, I'm the Bible. What I mean is, if you don't want to care to take it to Jordan, that because it might be that. I don't know, they will take it for whatever reason, leave it in the suitcase that you're going to leave on the bus, not your carry-on. Now, if I have a Bible that is full of notes and is very dear for me, I wouldn't take it. Because you never know who is going to be on the border, and because of the Ramadan, he's kind of like flipped over and then he's like, oh no, I don't want to have any Bibles here. Then it goes through a machine. They don't do it by hand, it goes through a machine, but they will see that there's a Bible. So they might say, hey, no Bibles here. I mean, it happened before, and I don't want you to be upset. So if you have your Bible on your iPad or on an electronic device, your phone, that's even better. No one's going to check that. I mean, it's an app. Ramon. So this is a brand new airport, international airport, and it's named after him. So it's called Ramon Airport because Eilat, the city where we're going, used to have an airport that was right in the middle of the city because there was an airport and then they built the city. So it was not safe anymore, so they moved the airport to here. It took quite some years to build this one, but now it's operating. Of course, because of the corona, it suffered a lot from that as well, but now it starts to work again. And the idea is that they make the runway long enough that also big planes can land here. So the idea is that the Europeans are the ones that are coming the most to Eilat in the winter. So Eilat is was a very known winter destination for Europeans, because when it's very cold in Europe, then they would come to Eilat, and it's sunny almost all around the year, and they enjoy to spend time there.
Isn't there good scuba diving there? Somebody told me something about that.
Sorry?
Scuba diving there?
Scuba diving and snorkeling, swimming with dolphins, windsurfing, kite surfing. Yeah, a lot of water activities are over there.
So they can get a lot.
The water become less salty. So during this process, there are still all kind of algae or all kind of small crabs in the water. And one of the birds that used to migrate is the flamingos. And there's a big group of them that came down to here from Persia, which is Iran of today. And they never continue down, and they just nesting here, and they never leave. And so you can see already the water in the moment you see it more, but then when the white dots that you see at the water, these are the flamingos. On the other side, to the left, you can see the airport of Aqaba. Aqaba is the city that Jordan have on the Red Sea. That's the only access that Jordan have to a sea. And you can see those flamingos down there. Those white dots are flamingos.
All flamingos from there.
After flying from Europe, they stop along the way. Some of them stopping also here to rest and to feed before they continue down south to Africa. But now they are on the way, and also here there are some big birds. I think these are also flamingos. And then if you look to the front, you can see the major industry in Eilat is tourism, but also this is part of the industry, the harvesting salt from here, and also type of minerals that are exported to Asia, to Japan. This NPT factory is a Japanese factory. $199 is also.